From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN Noon News.
Good afternoon. I'm Dianne Parker. Jason has our Wednesday forecast. Plus, Montana Millionaire is back soon. It's also bigger than ever. But first, we want to get right to our top story this noon. The elk fire burning in Wyoming's Bighorn National Forest has now consumed more than 32,000 acres, prompting a fresh wave of evacuations overnight. Tongue River School is also closed today. Evacuations or go is being ordered for all the residents on Pass Creek Road between East Pass Creek and Twin Creek Road. This order still includes XX Ranch north to the Montana state line. Dayton has also now been put on ready status. Be sure and visit your local MTN website throughout the day for the latest warnings and conditions out there. There's also a community meeting scheduled tonight for 7 o'clock at Tongue River Middle School in Ranchester, and that location is being moved from the high school due to the ready status in Dayton. An evacuation warning has been lifted for the Seeley Lake area after an emerging wildfire was quickly put out. New this noon, that fire is believed to be human caused and only grew to 1 acre. The warning came from the Missoula County Sheriff's Office and was for residents on the north side of Riverview Drive.
And speaking of our regional fires, we still have more smoke in the air than we would ever like to have, especially over southeastern Montana and north central and northeastern Wyoming. You can see unhealthy to very unhealthy air quality, both for Broadus and also for Sheridan, Wyoming, and some areas of moderate air quality for mainly southern and far western Montana. But taking a look at our smoke forecast, we have more smoke moving our direction, especially this afternoon and tomorrow afternoon when we have the heating of the day that really allows those fires to get active. So far southeastern Montana, northern Wyoming, as well as southwestern Montana will have most of the smoke going forward. Overnight, those fires usually settle down a little bit, so less smoke for us by early tomorrow morning, but it is going to come back, especially by Thursday afternoon and Thursday evening. A lot more smoke pushing into the eastern and also central parts of Montana. Our complete 7-day forecast with other changes going forward coming up in just a few minutes.
President Biden is traveling to the Carolinas today to take an aerial tour of the damage from Hurricane Helene. The president is also receiving a briefing on relief efforts and is traveling to Georgia and Florida soon to tour the damage there. More than 130 people have died in the storm. Biden has approved a major disaster declaration for South Carolina, which allows people to immediately access funds and resources for recovery. Florida and North Carolina are also getting federal disaster funds. The Confederated Salish and Kootenai tribes are standing in solidarity with the Crow tribe after disparaging remarks from Republican Senate candidate Tim Sheehy. An audio file is circulating from 2023 where Sheehy can be heard saying Crow tribal members are drunk by 8 in the morning, even throwing beer cans at his head during the Crow Fair parade. CSKT says Sheehy's comments are disrespectful and send a dangerous message about Indigenous people.
People tend to think that they know what's best for tribal people, and they really don't. And they, in the position they're in, the spot that they're at, they're thinking that they don't need to be educated more about who we are, when in fact they do need to be educated more. And these kind of remarks really show an immaturity about dealing with our tribal people. And so we definitely stand with our tribal brothers and sisters against language like this.
And during Monday night's Senate debate on Montana PBS, Tester pushed Sheehy to apologize for those insensitive comments about tribal members.
The reality is, insensitive. I come from the military, as many of our tribal members do. You know, we make insensitive jokes and probably off color sometimes. And you know, I'm an adult. I'll take accountability for that. But let's not distract from the issues that our tribal communities are suffering.
And you can say, look, I'll take responsibility. But you know, apologies matter. And how you treat people matter. And if you treat them with disrespect, other people will disrespect them. So like I said to begin with, you're a big guy. Just apologize.
Will you apologize for opening the border?
I didn't open the border.
If you missed Monday night's Senate debate, MTN is replaying it this Saturday at 7 p.m. And now to the latest on a controversial pre-release center coming to Kalispell. MTN's Sean Wells reports.
After hearing public testimony on both sides of the argument, the Flathead County Board of Adjustment voted against a pre-release center coming to Flathead County. The three-person board unanimously denied the conditional use permit for a proposed pre-release center, citing inadequate vehicle access and limited availability for additional law enforcement services, among other issues. The majority of public testimony at the hearing spoke against the proposed location of the pre-release center on the border of Kalispell and Evergreen on East Oregon Street. The votes come after the Flathead County Commissioners approved a resolution of support for the pre-release center Tuesday morning. Flathead County resident Larry Seed spoke at the meeting about his concerns regarding the proposal. He was pleased with the board's decision.
I am thankful that they listened to the testimony that was given and that they listened to the concerns of the community. I wasn't certain if that was going to happen, and I believe that a pre-release center is certainly needed. I also believe that that is a wrong place for it.
In Kalispell, Sean Wells, MTN News.
The state pays county jails, like this one here in Butte, $82 a day for each Department of Corrections inmate it houses. But the sheriff here says that's simply not enough money, and he'd like to see the state start paying more.
This isn't something that we're trying to be unreasonable, but we do want to call attention to the fact that it's costing us more to house these inmates than we're being reimbursed by the state.
Butte Interim County Attorney Kelly Fivey will be asking the county commissioners to approve the sheriff's request to seek $110 for each DOC inmate in custody. This also could help with the jail's overcrowding issues.
What our hopes is, if they have to pay full cost for an inmate that is technically under their charge, they might as well just come get them and put them in their facility.
The Montana State Prison also is dealing with overcrowding. So many inmates that have already been sentenced must wait in county jails until more room opens up in a state facility. The sheriff says he understands this is a state problem and he's not trying to be difficult.
Even if it passes, I don't expect any drastic changes. I'm not going to drive a bus of inmates down to the Montana State Prison and demand that they take them.
It is the Montana State Legislature that ultimately sets the price it will pay county jails to house DOC inmates. Fivey said by getting the county commissioners to officially approve the request for more money, it can give the county the option to recoup that money later.
If we can recoup the money that we're spending right now and recoup that $28 a day, that's going to help our taxpayers, and maybe that's a road or a park or a new police car or whatever.
The jail has just over a dozen DOC inmates among its more than 120 total inmate population. The jail was originally built to house 72 inmates. In Butte, John Amy, MTN News.